When on the Nagios Log Server homepage, whether that be the simple or advanced version, you can find user management by going to admin, management, and then user management. On the user management page, you'll see two options: creating a user or adding a user from an LDAP or AD server. To do this, you'll have to integrate an LDAP or AD server from the LDAP AD integration page, where you can go ahead and add a server and fill in the required fields, whether that be for Active Directory or LDAP. And if you need a certificate for connecting over SSL, you can add it here. But to go back to user management, if you'd like to just create a user from Nagios Log Server, you can click this button here. Now right away, you'll be prompted to enter the user details. So firstly, the full name, then the email, and then the username and password that they'll use to log into Log Server. And then additionally, you'll be able to configure the default language, theme, as well as the dashboard mode if it should be simple or advanced. Now this next tab is for external authentication. This is if you want your user to be externally authenticated by either an Active Directory or LDAP server. And if you choose, you'll have to select the specific server as well as its AD username that it will use to authenticate. Additionally, for LDAP, you'll have to choose the LDAP server as well as the user's full DN. Now the next tab is permissions, and you'll be met with two options right away: admin and user. If you want to make this account an admin account, you can select this option, which will give it full access to all components and settings. But if you want to make the account a user account, the options will be much more configurable and limited. So for something like alerts, you can choose the option to view, create, and edit them. While for contacts, maybe you just want to give them the option to view. Additionally, you can choose to make them an admin of a feature, which will give them all permissions. Below that, you can restrict host visibility by selecting specific host lists or specific hosts that you want the user to be able to view. And finally, you can decide if you want the user to have API access. And when you're all done, you can go ahead and create user. After creating a user, you have the option to go ahead and edit or delete them. To edit them, it'll bring up the same options as creating a user, where you can save when done. Now, if you want to add users from your LDAP or Active Directory server, you can do so by selecting the button here. You'll first want to select the particular server you want to import from, and if you have none configured, you can click the Manage Authentication Servers, which will bring you to the integration page where you can add your server. And when you have that configured, you can select your server and then put in the username and password. And after hitting Next, you'll be brought to the screen where you can go through and select the users from your server and add them into Log Server. Now, if the user does have the fields configured, they should auto-populate for username and email address. But if they're empty on your LDAP or AD server, you have to fill them in here. You can also select user or admin for the user type, as well as decide if you want to give them API access. And when done, you can hit Create Users. And to further configure that user, you can go in and edit it and have the same permission options as you did from the normal user creation method.